Fordham Road in the Bronx. Listen to this bullshit. I'm gonna add the next clip after this, but listen to this.
More destruction. Someone cut through the gate of
the jewelry store, right? Boom. Next clip.
NYPD's finest breaking into a jewelry store for some fucking reason. This shit don't make absolutely no fucking sense. The fuck?
Oscar's Gold and Diamonds, right? Which is right on Fordham Road in the Bronx. Listen.
Do y'all see the shit that's going on? The cops is becoming gangsters, dead ass. Like, the cops are ganging up and doing gang shit on everything. Just take their uniform off and it's labeled gang shit, bruh. Straight up. So tell me how the fuck you plan to resolve this peacefully when the cops is all ganging up on some gang shit right now. Just sabotage and shit. How you gonna resolve this peacefully? How? When they're arresting peaceful protesters and beating the shit out of peaceful protesters. Y'all dumb fucks, we need to come together and put the Black Panthers back together. Because that's the only thing that's gonna end this bullshit, is when we attack them back with equal force. You know how powerful the Black Panthers was as an organization? Extremely. They was so powerful. They was such a force. The CIA cucks had to come in that bitch and infiltrate it and break it up. And when they broke up the Black Panthers, they created the Bloods and Crips and put y'all against each other. It's all a plot. Bring the Black Panthers back. Treacherous. This is it right here. It's the nail in a fucking coffin. Black Panther Party members were involved in many fatal firefights with police. Some shit that all of y'all's too afraid to do. Y'all are too afraid to fire back or even fire first because y'all don't value protecting your community enough. Okay? So, let's keep going. Malcolm, implaceable to the ultimate degree, held out to the black masses. Liberation from the chains of the oppressor and the treacherous embrace of the endorsed black spokesman. Only with the gun were the black masses denied this victory. But they learned from Malcolm that with the gun, they can recapture their dreams and bring them into reality. Y'all need to understand that sometimes that violence is never a good thing, okay? But we live in a universe that doesn't operate off duality. Duality is only something you experience. Good and bad is only something you experience. All the universe knows is balance. So if y'all getting shot and killed in the streets, I'm sorry, but the universal answer to balance that situation out is to do the same thing back. Because that's when they're going to learn to respect y'all. When they start losing motherfuckers to y'all, all right? It's simple. It's simple. Y'all just scared. Y'all scared to go fight for real, for real. Y'all got to come together. They are disbanding y'all right now. They are disbanding y'all. They are trying to keep y'all separate. Starting to get the picture yet? Are you starting to understand? It has been 50 fucking years. Nothing has fucking changed. And y'all telling me y'all working towards a cause when y'all been fighting this bullshit since the civil rights movement back in the 60s and nothing has changed. And y'all think y'all gonna change something now? That's what I'm saying, bro. Y'all gonna have to bring the Black Panthers back. All right? Malcolm X vibes. And y'all gonna have to fight the police. And the Freemasons. I'm telling y'all. If y'all really want to see the change y'all want to see, I hope y'all know bullets is gonna have to fly. It's gonna be a civil war before they let y'all take the power back. But y'all need to understand, everything that's great in life comes with huge sacrifice. Okay? And I'm not saying go sacrifice your own people, but y'all need to be willing. Y'all need to be willing to destroy the enemy, not scream at it. Okay? You gotta be a warrior. Because y'all are warriors. Y'all are the realest. Just step up. And I will never, once in my life, agree with what the government or white America has to say about the melanated people. You know why? Because all they know how to do is put melanated people through adversity. And then they get on them for evolving through adversity, for still making shit happen regardless of what the government is doing to you. The government's not giving you money. You can't get a job, right? Niggas gonna trap. We gonna do what we gotta do out here. We gonna do what we gotta do out here. Those people have been subjected to those circumstances because they were manipulated into those circumstances through systemic racism, bro. Man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy what y'all don't know. You know why I don't fuck with white America or the government? Because they see melanated people and they see criminals. They see people who do bad things. First of all, everyone who has some bullshit to say about melanated people has police protecting their community 24/7. They have money. They're given an upper hand by the government and financial institutions. It's easy for you to talk shit and say that black people are criminals. You were spoon-fed everything because of the color of your skin. Please shut the fuck up. And now it's time to really expose systemic racism because the government and financial institutions do research on the demographics of the areas you live in. They box y'all guys out of specific areas that they are willing to invest in. A lot of melanated communities are in redlined areas of the map where the government refuses to throw money at. It's fucked up. The government will give a $100,000 loan to a low-income white family, but will refuse the same loan with the same credentials and statistics to a low-income black family if they're doing just as good. We're not doing that shit anymore, all right? So we're going to expose this.
This is Jamal. Jamal is a boy who lives in a poor neighborhood. He has a friend named Kevin, who lives in a wealthy neighborhood. All of Jamal's neighbors are African American, and all of Kevin's neighbors are white. Because Jamal's school district is mostly funded by property taxes, his school is not very well funded. His classrooms are overcrowded, his teachers are underpaid, and he doesn't have access to high-quality tutors or extracurricular activities. Kevin's school district is also funded by property taxes, so his school is very well funded. His classrooms are never crowded, his teachers are very well paid, and he has access to high-quality tutors and lots of extracurricular activities. Kevin and Jamal live only a few streets away from each other. So how come they're growing up in such different worlds with such different opportunities for success? The answer has to do with America's history of systemic racism. To understand it better, let's look at what life was like for Kevin and Jamal's grandparents. Decades after the Civil War, many government agencies started to draw maps dividing cities into sections that were either desirable or undesirable for investment. This practice was called redlining, and it usually blocked off entire black neighborhoods from access to private and public investment. Banks and insurance companies used these maps for decades to deny black people loans and other services based purely on race. Historically speaking, owning a home and getting a college education is the easiest way for an American family to build wealth. But when Jamal's grandparents wanted to buy a house, the banks refused because they lived in a neighborhood that was redlined. So Jamal's grandparents were not able to buy a home, and because colleges could prevent them from attending through legal segregation, their options for higher education were really scarce. Kevin's grandparents, on the other hand, got a low-interest loan to buy their first house and got accepted into a handful of top universities, which traditionally only accepted white students. This opened up a wealth of opportunities that they were able to pass on to their kids and grandkids. Even as late as the 1980s, an investigation into the Atlanta real estate market showed that banks were more willing to lend to low-income white families than to middle or upper-income African-American families. As a result, today, for every $100 of wealth held by a white family, black families have $5.04. A 2017 study confirms that redlining is still affecting home values in major cities like Chicago today. This explains how Kevin and Jamal inherited vastly different circumstances. Unfortunately, the story doesn't end there. A big part of systemic racism is implicit bias. These are prejudices in society that people are not aware that they have. Let's go back to Kevin and Jamal. Against all odds, Jamal manages to be the only student from his high school to get accepted into a great university, the same one that Kevin and his high school friends are attending. But after Kevin and Jamal both graduate, Jamal notices that his resume isn't drawing as much interest as Kevin's, even though they graduated from the same program with the exact same GPA. Unfortunately for Jamal, studies show that resumes with white-sounding names get twice as many callbacks as identical resumes with black-sounding names. Implicit bias is one of the reasons why the black unemployment rate is twice the rate of white unemployment, even among college graduates today. You can see evidence of systemic racism in every area of life. The disparities in family wealth, incarceration rates, political representation, and education are all examples of systemic racism. Unfortunately, the biggest challenge with systemic racism is that there's no single person or entity responsible for it, which makes it very hard to solve. So what can you do? The first thing you can do is work towards becoming more aware of your own implicit biases. What are some prejudices that you might hold that you're not aware of? Second, let's acknowledge that the consequences of slavery and Jim Crow laws are still affecting access to opportunity today. As a result, we should support systemic changes that create more equal opportunities for everyone. Increasing public school funding and making it independent from property taxes would be a great start, so that poor and wealthy districts can receive equal access to resources. Systemic problems require systemic solutions. Luckily, we're all part of the system, which means that we all have a role to play in making it better. Peace.
And if we ever come to power, we will do to you and your fathers what you and your people have done to us. And I think you are judging us by the state of your own mind, and that is not necessarily the mind of black people.